Ninjas by Mary Pope Osborn. I hope you've enjoyed the story. It's a very exciting story. So far we have learned that this is about two kids, Jack and Annie, who have found a tree house that is full of books. And whenever they open one of the books and they wish to go wherever the book is, the book and the magic in the tree house takes them to wherever point of history the book is taking place. So this time, Jack and Annie, they go into the treehouse and they're looking for Morgan Le Fay, who actually owns the treehouse, but she is missing. So they find a book about ninjas and they wish to go wherever where the ninjas are to see if they can find where Morgan Le Fay is. And the book takes them back to ancient Japan, which is centuries and hundreds of years ago, where there were ninjas and samurai and fierce Japanese warriors. And so they go to there and they meet a ninja master, and the ninja master says that she can help them find Morgan Le Fay. But first, Jack and Annie have to prove that they deserve the ninja's help. How do you prove that you deserve a ninja's help? Well, we learned that, see here in Chapter 7, we learned that you have to use nature and be nature and follow nature in order to prove you deserve the ninja's help. So far they have used nature, and they used nature by figuring out which way was east, and then they pretended to be nature by pretending to be rocks to hide from samurai warriors, and now they're going to follow a mouse called Peanut in order to follow nature. So let's read the last two chapters together. Chapter 9, Mouse Walk. The mouse vanished into the tall grass on the other side of the stream. Jack and Annie stared at the tree branch. "We have to try to cross it," said Annie. "We're supposed to follow nature." "Forget it," said Jack. "It's too little. It'll crack in a second." "Maybe if we pretend we're mice, we can do it," said Annie. "Oh, brother, not again." "If you can be a rock, you can be a mouse," said Annie. "Just be teeny and light and fast." Jack took a deep breath. "We have to," said Annie. "Okay," said Jack. "Say squeak," said Annie. "You're nuts," said Jack. "Just do it. It'll help you feel more like a mouse." Jack groaned. "Okay," he said. "Squeak." "Squeak," said Annie. "Squeak, squeak, squeak," they said together. "Let's go. Hurry," said Annie. Jack stepped into the branch. "I'm teeny, I'm light, I'm fast," he thought. Then he darted across the branch. Jack moved so quickly, he didn't think about anything except getting to the other side. He forgot the wild freezing water. He forgot the smallness of the branch. Suddenly, Jack was on the other side. Suddenly, Annie was right beside him. They laughed and fell together into the grass. "See, the branch didn't break," said Annie. "I guess it was big enough," said Jack. "I guess we just had to think the right way." "The peanut way," said Annie. "Yeah," said Jack, smiling. He felt great. He was still wet from his fall into the stream, but he didn't mind anymore. Jack pushed his glasses into place and stood up. "Okay, now we just have to find the treehouse," he said. "No, we don't," said Annie. She pointed up. The treehouse was outlined against the moonlit sky, high in a tree surrounded by white flowers. In the distance came the sound of voices. Then Jack saw flames. "The samurai are coming back," said Jack. "We have to go." "Where's Peanut?" said Annie. "We can't leave Peanut." "We have to," said Jack. The voices of the samurai were getting closer. So were their torches. "Come on," Jack said. He grabbed Annie's hand. He pulled her toward the rope ladder. "Oh, Jack," she said sadly. "Go, go!" Annie started up the rope ladder. Jack followed. He felt sad too. He liked that little mouse now. He liked it a lot. They climbed up and up. Just before they got to the top, Jack heard it. "Squeak!" "Oh, wow!" cried Annie. "Peanut's inside!" Annie pulled herself into the treehouse. Jack followed. He gasped. Someone else was in the treehouse too. A dark figure was sitting in the corner. "You have done well," the figure said. It was the ninja master. "You have followed the way of the ninja," he said. "Oh man," breathed Jack. The master was holding Peanut. "Take good care of your little helper," he said, handing the mouse to Annie. Annie kissed the mouse's tiny head. "And take this," said the master. He held his hand out to Jack. He gave Jack a small round stone. "This moonstone will help you find your missing friend," the master said. Jack stared at the stone. Was this one of the 4 things? "You must go home now," said the master. He picked up the Pennsylvania book and handed it to Annie. "Where did you find it?" asked Jack. "Here," said the master. "You did not see it before because your heart knew you had a mission to complete first." "What about you?" said Annie. "Can you come with us?" "Yes," said Jack. "We need help finding Morgan." The master smiled. "No, my friends, I must stay here. There will be more help along the way, but you must find the way on your own." Annie opened the book. She found the picture of Frog Creek. She pointed to it. "I wish we could go there," she said. The wind started to blow. The white flowers started to shake. Clouds covered the moon. "Remember," the master said, "keep a kind heart." Then he swung silently down the rope ladder. He disappeared into the dark night. "Wait," Jack called. There was so much he wanted to ask the master about nature, about ninjas, about their mission. But the treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Jack gripped the stone in his hand. He squeezed his eyes shut. Everything went still. Absolutely still. Chapter 10. Night, Peanut. Jack opened his eyes. Then he opened his fist. He stared at the moonstone in his hand. It was clear and smooth. It was almost seemed to glow. "We're home," said Annie. "Squeak!" Annie and the mouse were looking out the window. Jack looked with them. The sun was setting in the distance. No time at all had passed in Frog Creek. They heard their neighbor's dog Henry bark. They heard crickets chirping. In the distance they could see their dad step out of their house. He stood on their porch. "Jack! Annie!" he called. "Time for dinner." "Coming!" Annie shouted. Jack sat back on his heels. He looked at the moonstone again. "I guess we have one of the 4 things," he said. "We'll look for the other 3 tomorrow," Annie said. Jack nodded. They had a lot more work to do. He put the moonstone in his pocket. He pulled on his pack. "Ready?" he said. "Wait," said Annie. She took off one of her sneakers. She pulled off her sock, then she put her sneaker back on. "What are you doing?" said Jack. "I'm making a bed," she said. "A what?" "A bed, for Peanut to sleep in." Annie picked up the mouse. She tucked it inside her sock. "Night, Peanut," she said softly. "Squeak!" "Oh, brother," said Jack. Annie held the mouse close to Jack. "Kiss it good night, Jack," she said. "Don't be silly," he said. "Let's go." "Thanks for helping us," Annie said to the mouse. And look, putting the mouse to bed. She put Peanut gently down on the glowing M. She pulled Morgan's message out of her porch. She put it next to the mouse. "See you tomorrow," she said, and she started down the ladder. Jack stared at the mouse. He looked back at him. For a moment, its dark eyes looked old and wise. "Come on, Jack," called Annie. Jack kissed its tiny head. "Night-night, Peanut," he whispered. Then Jack headed down the rope ladder. It got darker and darker as he went down. By the time he stepped onto the ground, it was almost completely black. "Where are you?" said Jack. "Here," said Annie. Her hand bumped his. He took it. "Careful," he said. "Careful yourself," she said. Together it took off through the cool, dark woods. They moved silently and swiftly. 2 shattered warriors returning home. The end. I hope you've enjoyed this book. We have a lot of other Night Treehouse stories that you can check out in the library if you did enjoy it. But today, for our special activity, I want you to pick a place. If you could time travel to any place in history, it could be Japan several hundred years ago, it could be maybe in the future sometime, or maybe it could be maybe just 10 years ago. Whatever you want to be and wherever you want to go, I want you to pick a place in history and I want you to write a short story about it. Okay? Don't worry though, we are going to have lots more fun with Book Wizards Book Club. So starting next week, we will actually have a new story that we'll be starting. And so I hope you continue to join us, and I hope you've enjoyed